Don't be anxious. Look, these are going to be some troubled times, but let me read this verse to you and tell you some really cool stuff that I'm discovering. It's in Philippians. Don't be anxious about anything. You remember that verse? I kind of took a deep dive into this. Um, Anxiousness is the Greek word there is pull you apart. You're being pulled apart. It could be the news that's pulling you apart. It could be you're torn between. That's what anxiety is. And not having a centered on peace is a root of a lot of illnesses, struggling with illnesses and sicknesses. When you're not at peace in your soul and in your spirit, you're not living very healthy. You're not sleeping well. You're not getting good rest. Like I said, a lot of people end up dealing with illnesses because of the anxiety. The devil wants you pulled in different ways, and that's why he uses the news cycle. Facebook, we first started with 24-hour news, and then you get social media like Facebook, and Lord, is it not like pulling you apart? You watch one video about a puppy being saved, the next video about hurricanes blowing people up and drowning kids and trees being torn. So this verse in Philippians talks about the peace of God. It talks about a peace in your mind that it guards. It guards your mind in this day and age, especially these being the last days. You're going to need to tap into this. Let me read it to you. Let's read a look at something we've heard all of our life. It says that Philippians 4:4, rejoice in the Lord always. We've heard this. I'll say it again. Again, rejoice. That's actually what it says. So let your gentle spirit be known. See, that's the nature of a Christian, is a gentle spirit. Let's be on guard with that. Let it be known to all people. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, prayer and pleading with God or supplication with an attitude of thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, and the peace that goes beyond all comprehension, also understanding, will guard your hearts and guard your minds in Jesus Christ. We've heard that, grew up saying it, but have you really? I just did a deep dive in some of the Greek words there. And let me encourage you for these times. Um, so when you look at the Greek word for anxiety, I said before, that's being pulled in apart in many directions. Um, it really means I care for. So whatever it is that you care for creates anxiety, whether it be your nation of America, whether it be your future. You care about your future. You care about um, your home. Where are you going to live? Okay, Jesus addressed this. What you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, creates lots of anxiety. And when you hear the news about the economy, the dollar crashing, and the uncertainty, the devil wants you on a ground of uncertainty, or you're not certain about tomorrow. And boy, is it worse with this modern media. And it creates an anxiety where you're being pulled apart because you're like, well, the thing I know I need to do, the job I have, I'm torn apart. Maybe I should go look for a different job. Maybe I should do this and that. And that steals your peace. And that's the place where illnesses in your body can come. A lot of people are sick because of this, honestly. So when you read this, it says, don't be pulled apart. The things you care about, don't let it drive you into a tearing apart, but rather talk to God. I mean, sounds simple, right? You've ever heard that? Go talk to God, but actually talk to God. If you're a Christian, I mean, that could be anybody, but definitely I'm talking to my fellow Christians. Do you talk to God about this? Because God is near. If you're saved, you've got God in your life. You got Jesus in your heart. I mean, anywhere you are, you can talk to God. He is near, always near you. So, um, And when he says talk to God, everything by prayer and supplication, you take a deep dive in that Greek word. That is talking about your urgent needs that are personal to you. And that is a guarantee. You're promised to do that. So when you're being pulled apart and you're anxious about the things you care about, then know that the Lord is near. So start talking to God. He hears you. And you talk to him about those urgent things that are personal to you. And that's what that's talking about. But you do it with an attitude of thanksgiving, right? It's not demands. It's not, God, why are you not? You're God. Not that. No, it's, Lord, let's have a heart to heart. I'm worried about my job. I'm worried about my family down there in Florida with these hurricanes, Lord. I'm kind of pulling apart. My mind is on Florida where my family is, but also to get my mind on work. You're pulled apart. You're anxious, anxiety. You can't. I want to go down there to pull them out of Florida, but I can't. It's not possible. Talk to God about it. Things that are urgent that you care about. That is the answer. What is the result of that? And you do it Thanksgiving, knowing that God is near, knowing that he listens to you, and knowing that he is physically, Jesus is active, present today, right here, not far. I mean, his spirit is in us, but physically he's sitting at the right hand of the Father. He's actively involved in your life. So you make those requests unto God, and then what's the result? There's a peace of God that will go beyond your understanding. You get a sense inside of you, and it will guard your mind and hearts. Okay, because God will speak back, and when God speaks back, you get that sense of peace. This peace of is a peace of mind. The Greek word there that they use, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but delving, it was this Greek word was a common Jewish farewell in the Hebraistic, in the Hebrew sense, was that you wish farewell to someone. It was a sense of health. Like I say this word, peace. Peace be with you. May you prosper and be in health. You've heard Paul write that. It was the sense of health of the individual. So again, the center of health is peace in God. Anxiety and being pulled apart is a place where illness, not health, can thrive. And so these erratic times, these last days in America, anywhere in the world, really, you're going to need a place, a center, a rock, and that is Jesus. You've heard this all your life. But reading this right here, I kind of reassessed that. I'm like, man, you know what? It is true, man. I got to talk to God. You got to talk to God. And you get this well-being of well-beingness, of peace. I am well. I am whole. That the health of a being will increase when you talk to God about your urgent needs. And that's not selfish. That's actually the Holy Spirit telling you God literally is listening and sees. Jesus said the same thing. Do not be anxious about anything. Jesus said, why worry about tomorrow? Do you not know? He's reminding God himself in the flesh will say, you know what? I do know what you need. I care for the birds outside. How much more am I going to care about you? That's what Jesus said. You could talk to him. So maybe when you get this bad news in the news cycles, you begin to talk to the Lord, and you may get better rest at night, find a better health, stronger body. Maybe the depression, the feeling alone in this world cycle of news may diminish. It will diminish, actually, because the Lord is near you. Keep that word with you. God bless you guys. Comment, respond, talk to me. I'm Pastor Aaron of Grace and Truth Church in